Hers was an eventful life, full of courage, ambition, and adventure. Aged only 30, Alice Auma led a resistance against the government with a claim that she was a prophetess following a directive from a supernatural being.
With me, I'm a prophet. I was treating a lot of people. And by that time, when Museveni took over, they found that I'm called Alice Lakwena. And I met the government. By the time I the spirit prophet to them that if they go in Gulu, Kitgum, Old via Northerner, and West Nile, they will find no war.
In 1985, Alice Auma was running a business in Opit in Gulu, selling fish and flour. But life changed after she was possessed by the spirit of Lakwena, as Auma's youngest brother recalls.
The spirit came and lifted her up, and later she came with the Bible. Then at that moment, she immediately went to what? To my son Fall, where she stayed there for 40 days in the water. Then later she came back and she started feeding people, casting demons, and doing a lot of miracles.
A lot of people saw this miracle. And they asked, what is happening? They say that you wait for her at midnight.
Some people got her healing touch.
The first miracle, even me personally, because I was not even able to talk, but at the moment I can speak well. That's the first miracle. The second miracle, I was having my sister, who is also a deaf, she cannot hear, but she worked on her and she's even hearing well at the moment.
The spirits gave her a directive to create an army that would stop the chaos and bloodshed that was going on in Acholi. At that time, remnant soldiers of the former government had reorganized themselves to form the Uganda People's Democratic Army and were fighting with Yoweri Museveni's National Resistance Army. The other directive was to take over the capital, Kampala. In 1987, Auma, still under the spell of Lakwena, led the Holy Spirit movement, an army of about 10,000 fighters out of Acholi, and they marched towards Kampala. Face to face with the enemy, the bullets did not bounce off their bodies as Lakwena had promised, nor did the stones explode into grenades after throwing them. She was defeated at Magamaga in November of 1987 on the Jinja-Iganga Highway. Auma fled to Kenya on a bicycle. She settled in a refugee camp in Kenya, and it is here that she died, bitter with many, among them President Museveni, who she claimed to have written to several letters pleading to be allowed to return home in vain.
I've written to him saying that a lot of people is dying with AIDS disease. I must go and serve them. Only that there's no response from him. I don't fear. I have no fear.
However, Lakwena demanded a house in Kampala and 100 million shillings before she could return. She wasn't really grateful to her hosts either.
Because if they wrote to me, they don't want to see me here, I wouldn't have wasted my time. It's the government of Kenya who deceived me to come here, and they dropped me here as they see me. You can see me here in the bush.
Some people believe that Lakwena was insane, but a clinical psychiatrist who was part of the Ugandan delegation that visited her in 1999 concluded that she was sane, seemed intelligent, manipulative, and responsible for her actions, but suffered delusions of grandeur and was obsessed with sex. Even in death, controversy followed her. Her body took long to arrive in Uganda, and when it did 2 weeks after her death, there was drama at Entebbe Airport as security fought off people who wanted to see her body.
Don't open. They are not opening.
Journalists were closed out and had to go on rooftops to take pictures. Under heavy security, her body was taken to medical school Mulago for treatment. Journalists had to rise to Mulago Hospital and wait for hours before they could take pictures. It later emerged that her body had not been embalmed at Lee Funeral Home in Nairobi, where it lay for 3 days.
We were very disappointed because, according to the report from Nairobi, the body was embalmed. But to our surprise, when we opened it, they found that there was only post-mortem done, but the body was not embedded at all. So Mulago Medical School had to start all over again.
Her body arrived in her hometown in Gulu under heavy security, but a lukewarm welcome. The requiem mass that was earlier planned was not held. Only a handful attended the burial at her home. Despite her failed military mission, her place in Ugandan history is secured by the continuation of the LRA war, which she inspired. Reports show that after her defeat, her father, Severino Lukoya, took over her Holy Spirit movement before bequeathing it to Lakwena's nephew, Joseph Kony, the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army. Kony mourned her.
It was sad, of course, when I heard she died, when I communicated with him.
Although Lakwena is gone, she will continue to hold a special place in the annals of history of rebel movements in Uganda. Agnes Asimwe, NTV News.